Did you know that there was an experiment done where they tested as a social experiment to see if people would give you a quarter based off of what you told them afterwards? And they tested three different things. First of all, they just asked for a quarter. Second of all, they asked for a quarter and then gave a good reason, like I need a quarter so I can get on the bus because I don't have quite enough change. And third, they gave a reason that made absolutely no sense. For example, I need a quarter because my nose hurts. And the results were kind of cool. Basically, both the good reason and the poor reason performed the exact same, and the no reason performed much, much worse. So as long as you can give a reason for why you want something to be done, you will get just as many people jumping on board no matter what that reason is. So let's put this theory to the test. I need you to hit that like button because I'm thinking about getting a haircut tomorrow. That being said, guys, this is Hunter FX. I hope you found that funny. That is actually a real social experiment. I thought it was kind of funny. Start off a story with another story. This is a story video back from my crypto days, back when I was just a lowly little 23-year-old. Just 3 years ago, and I knew absolutely nothing about how to trade, and I trusted people who came into crypto groups saying that they knew everything, and I believed them right away. And I said, wow, that's great, why don't I just do exactly what you do, without ever questioning their authenticity. And I have a cat playing with a ball underneath me right now, so if you hear some jingling during the story, it's not Santa Claus, it's my cat. With it. Cool. All right, guys, so jumping off in the story, we were sitting in this chat room, me and some friends, right? We were talking crypto, and we used to trade on this crypto exchange called BitMEX. And something you need to know about BitMEX is that if you are a market maker, that means you place limit orders in the market. They actually pay you part of the fees, so you make money when your orders get filled, unlike a market taker who actually gets to get feed 3 times as much as what the market maker makes, if that makes sense. So that way the BitMEX still makes money, but they're incentivized to have a very liquid book, right? So basically, this guy came into the chat room claiming that he had turned something like 0.1 Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin. And back at the days, that was a lot of money. And we kind of all said, ho, ha, ha, I don't believe you. Santa Claus playing with his ball down there. Hopefully you can hear him jingling, or I'm just kind of being weird here and a little bit psycho. But we kind of laughed at him a little bit. But then he said, okay, well, why don't I show you, right? All right, so he proceeded to show us, and he said, well, we're going to sit on the live chat in Discord, and we're just going to talk as I trade, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going in light, I'm going in heavy, I'm going in regular, right? So he knows how much we're betting and how confident he is. And essentially what it boiled down to was he was trying to make as many limit orders as possible, getting in and out at just $1 or $2 difference between the actual price on Bitcoin, just doing it extremely quickly. And he was doing something called DCA. So if he was wrong, he would double up a little bit down the line. And what he would do is he would look at the liquidity in the book, and he would kind of guess, and he was decently good at this. And he would place his orders, and then if he was wrong, he would double down a little bit further down the book, and then double down again. And he would do that a couple times, right? And I watched him do this for maybe about a week, and he flipped an account about 3-fold doing that, not even going crazy heavy, not going anything nuts. It seemed somewhat calm, seemed somewhat practical. And so I said, hey, maybe this guy really knows what he's talking about. So I started jumping on that voice chat, and I started copying him, and I put in, I think, $1,000 to start with, something kind of low like this, just to give it a go. And then another few days passed following him, and I had doubled my money, and that was unbelievable. So I wanted to put more money in. And just to kind of tell you guys a little bit more about how this strategy worked, is he would place the limit order there, it would get filled, and then he would instantly on the opposite side look for an exit. So it was very, very quick scalping back and forth, and it would always be limit entry and limit exit so that we get paid each and every time. And we were actually getting paid more on the fees than we were on the actual profit in the distance of the trade, because that distance was extremely small. And if we went against us, we would end up making more when it did go in our favor. Now, this was all clean sailing. This was great news. And I think you guys are going to have quite a moral of a story here, because I've made some videos on a similar strategy. If I'm referring to one in particular, this reminds me very much of what's that guy? I made a video on Jeremy Cash, and this made me think very much about it, because his strategy was essentially scalping extremely quickly with high volume, and he would just profit immediately with no stop losses. And this made me think of this time back in the day when I lost a lot of money. Now, what happened was I would now go to work and I would just sit on these chats and I would do the same thing. I would practice, and I wasn't as good as him, but I would keep doing this. I would listen to him when he was on, and I would do it myself too. Hey, there's a little kitten. How you doing, little guy? Okay, so. Oh, how you doing, little kitten? Okay, so we continued to do that for a few weeks, and then I don't know if you guys know Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's pretty volatile. I was sitting on there with him one time, and Bitcoin started dumping. And I actually knew it started dumping because I got pretty good with the order book and knowing actually when there was fake walls, because essentially the walls would just never end and it would slowly go. So there would be layered walls. And I got a pretty good sense of this. And I actually knew that that was going to happen. But I didn't really listen to myself. I followed the system, and then it started dumping. And he then started doubling up. He was pretty good. He knew that the volume, the speed at which it was dumping, he knew that he would really have to extend his dollar cost averaging in, right? That's DCA. So he would average in. And then he eventually dumped so hard that Bitcoin, I think, lost like 10-15% in a matter of 15 minutes, something like that. And that was something that's pretty rare, but it does happen. And we knew at some point, I suppose, if I really thought about it, this would happen again, and then we would get completely liquidated. And that's essentially what happened. I saw it coming a little bit, so I was a little bit hesitant. So what I did is I market exited everything at about a 80 to 90% loss on my entire account after flipping multiple thousands into many more thousands. And I had a good chunk of change, enough to live off of for a year, and it went to nearly zero. And now this guy, he had even more money, and he said to the group, I just got liquidated. Luckily enough, I was smart. I hit the exit button so quick after doing a couple DCAs. I really followed my logic, at least. Easy come, easy go. Ended up losing more money than I made in the long run, but it was very exciting at the time. And this is always what is going to happen if you guys follow rules like this, where there's no stop loss and you're doing very small take profits, because this is something that eventually the market will move against you and you will lose everything instantly. So moral of the story is please do not follow these kinds of strategies. Let my example be a lesson for you. And hopefully, if you've already lost some way in that way, follow some proven methods that you create for yourself, or follow something that me or another YouTuber that you really trust has told you, and then go and test those out on your own, see if they do work. But don't do this very fast money, easy money, all this garbage. It's always going to hurt you in the end. That's the story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Never again will I be trading crypto. It is a purely investment platform. It is way too volatile. It is way too nasty for me. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.
Listen.